The Golden State Warriors are reportedly expected to make a huge offer to the Philadelphia 76ers, which is a trade that would actually include them receiving Ben Simmons and actually taking on Al Horford's contract, while the 76ers would receive Andrew Wiggins, the pick number 2, and more picks. What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got some more NBA news to talk about with you guys. It's currently actually being reported that the Golden State Warriors are looking to land Ben Simmons in a deal including Al Horford, Andrew Wiggins, and their second overall draft pick, per NBC Sports' Tom Haberstroh. So again, I find this to be very, very interesting, and this may be one of the dumbest things you could ever do if you were the Philadelphia 76ers. Like, the fact that the 76ers are reportedly still interested in trading away Ben Simmons just absolutely frustrates me so much. I don't understand. Like, it's so clear to see. I'm going to put it into perspective here. When Joel Embiid was injured and it was Ben Simmons on the court with Al Horford at his center, they were winning game after game after game, consistent games. When it was, Ben Simmons playing with Al Horford and Joel Embiid, Joel Embiid's not injured anymore. They had the spacing issues with Al Horford and Joel Embiid. They were winning as many games as they were losing. But then when Ben Simmons got injured, everything went down. They were losing way more games than they were winning. And then when it came to the playoffs, I believe they ended up getting swept, all because Ben Simmons was injured. But you're going to tell me that Ben Simmons is the problem in Philadelphia? I don't understand that at all. It absolutely annoys me so much. If you watch 76ers games, in my opinion, it's pretty clear to see that Simmons is much more valuable to them than Joel Embiid, because most of the time Joel is either injured or has spacing issues with other players. It's just a huge issue, and all the spacing issues right now on the 76ers aren't helping. So, let's just say the Sixers actually did this trade. So you're telling me that the Sixers' solution to creating the spacing issues with Ben Simmons, Al Horford, and Joel Embiid is to trade Simmons and Al Horford, but bring in Andrew Wiggins, who's already a very inconsistent three-point shooter, and bring in that second overall pick where they're most likely going to probably draft LaMelo Ball, considering they won't have a point guard now, who is also very inconsistent on the three ball. So you're telling me that's what their solution is to fix their shooting issues? No, it's just not going to happen. Like, I mean, the chances of this trade going through, you would think, have to be close to impossible at this point. It would be so dumb for this to actually happen. But if you're the Golden State Warriors, oh my god, what a gold mine you would have, getting rid of Andrew Wiggins and his bad contract and bringing in Al Horford, who, yes, is on a bad contract, but people forget he was actually very good for the Boston Celtics, and he was very good at spacing the floor when he was the main center on the court. Imagine that spacing, like, literally. Like, I don't know what would happen with Draymond, Green, but let's just say he was on the court. All three of these players were at the court at the same time. Imagine the spacing there. You'd have Ben Simmons mainly running the point. He'd have Steph Curry and Klay Thompson on his three-point line, who are two of the greatest shooters, if not the best duo shooters ever to play in the NBA. Like, that would be insane. And you got Ben Simmons' playmaking skills, who averages, I believe, near to 10 assists per game. Imagine that. He'd also have Al Horford on the three-point line, who, yes, had a pretty bad year from three because he had to play with Joel Embiid and the spacing was terrible. But when he wasn't playing with Joel, in the season before, he was 36%. In the season before that, he was 43%. If Horford can get back up to 48%, you've already got a consistent shooter in, Al Horford. And yes, you would have Draymond Green on the court, who's not exactly the greatest shooter at all. But what I would assume they would do if they made this deal happen is Draymond Green and Simmons would both start, but one would then go onto the bench and then the other one would play point forward. So, for example, Green might go to the bench, and then Simmons would play point forward, and then Simmons would go to the bench, and then Green would play point forward, and then they would kind of rotate on that. There'd also be plays where I feel like they'd both be on the court at the same time, but Horford may be off, and one of them would be playing, a small ball type of center type of role. Just imagine, like, how lethal that would be for the Golden State Warriors, and all they would have to do to make that happen is, pick 2, Andrew Wiggins, and they probably have to chuck in a bunch of other first-round picks. But again, if you're a Warriors fan, or just the Golden State Warriors in general, you're doing that in a heartbeat, because all you got to do now is just get bulk shooters, try and sign a bunch of shooters to partner around Ben Simmons and Draymond Green as your point forwards. Like, again, they already do have a couple of nice shooters on the team. Look, Eric Pascal's a nice catch-and-shoot player. Sometimes he's extremely inconsistent on the three-point range. Like, I mean, when we look at his stats here, he's only 28% from 3, but his mid-range isn't the worst. It's about 50%, I believe. So, if he can improve his three-point line, that would be pretty nice. But again, it's going to be hard. Damian Lee, who's about 56%, I believe he's a decent catch-and-shoot player. Marquise Chris gets better and better every single year, but again, he's only on 20%. So, yeah, what I'm trying to say is here, they don't really have that much shooters, and if you're going to run a small ball, type of lineup potentially, and have maybe 2 point forwards in Simmons and Draymond Green, then you're going to want to go out and get them some shooters, and the Golden State Warriors are definitely very capable of doing that. They've got a great, great general managers over the last couple of years, great scouts and everything. They just always seem to find these players to help out with their, players in Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, etc. They always find these players here and there and always, seem to have a pretty decent list going on. So, look, it won't happen. The Sixers won't be this dumb, you would think, to do that. Like, at the end of the day, let's just say they get 2 future first-round picks, pick 2, and Andrew Wiggins for Al Horford and Simmons. Then you're pretty much bringing in LaMelo Ball, who's just an undersized Ben Simmons, who is a better mid-range shooter, but look, is not nearly as good as a defender or playmaker. And then you're also bringing in Andrew Wiggins, who's a very inconsistent three-point shooter, and a couple of first-round picks, which may be crap. And you're telling me you're going to get that for Ben Simmons, who, in my opinion, one of the most underrated players in the league. Look, it's not going to happen. The 76ers for sure, well, you'd surely think wouldn't be that dumb to do that. But if you're a Golden State Warriors fan and you've, again, heard me in this video, and you guys are liking what you're hearing, which I'm sure most of you are, I'm sure you're absolutely thrilled to know there's a chance you could be bringing in Ben Simmons to the team. Like, again, it would just be lethal. Like, I just don't want to have the vision of seeing a starting 5 of whatever it may be with Ben Simmons on the team. It would just be absolutely insane to see. And again, I feel like it'd probably ruin the league, because imagine how dominant that would be. Like, look, when Draymond Green was the main point forward for the team, he's not even the greatest playmaker, and he was averaging like 7 to 8 assists with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson by his side. Imagine what it would be like with Ben Simmons, who's twice the pace and a way better playmaker. Ben Simmons is going to be averaging 10 to 15 assists like a night just from feeding it to Steph, Klay, and whatever other shooters they go out and get him. The league does not want to see this happen, and it would just be absolutely insane. But again, I believe Ben Simmons deserves better. I don't feel like he's getting treated like he should be at the Philadelphia 76ers right now. I feel like they're kind of messing with him. He's on the trade block all the time for some reason, even though he is clearly, well, he's not the best player on their team. Like, Joel's probably a better player, but he's their most important player, if you know what I mean. Like, I think it's pretty clear to see he's their most important player, and they desperately need him on the team. But somehow I have a feeling the 76ers may be on their way to stuffing this up, which would be an absolute nightmare for Philadelphia 76ers and, yeah, their fans. But anyone, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for the latest NBA news and NBA content. Of course, don't forget to comment in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts and opinions on this? Do you guys think the Golden State Warriors will potentially try and make this trade happen? Do you guys think the Philadelphia 76ers will do it? Again, I definitely would really like to know all of your thoughts and opinions on this down below. Who do you guys think would win a trade like this? Again, I would really like to know down below. But of course, don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel and my IRL/vlog channel. Don't forget to check out my podcast as well if you haven't already. Links for them will all be in the description down below. But as I was saying, to thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.